What's up everyone, I'm Alexander and this is the first video of Neuro Ninja. Here we focus on mentoring minds, mastering markets, and manifesting miracles into our lives. And my question to you today is, how many times have you thought of a great idea or something that you're passionate about and then let your imagination run rampant with dreams of fame and fortune, only to be held back by a whisper of a doubt? How many times have you felt that crushing feeling on your chest, weighing you down, your heart rate skyrocketing through the roof, your hands getting sweaty or even depressed because you don't think you'll ever be good enough to make it work? I have. And it sucks. As someone with a passion and an idea, we're both familiar with the roller coaster of pursuing our passions, or rather wanting to, never quite doing it. The ups and downs of coming up with the idea, what we're going to talk about, and then feeling stumped on what to do or even how to do it. Never knowing if it's going to even be good enough to begin with. Thinking I just need this one thing to make it perfect. Or even I'm waiting on it after the year or after I get that raise. Just that one thing that'll make it all perfect. Or even thinking to yourself, I'll do it when blank. The journey when it does start to take off can be absolutely exhilarating, but can often lead to stress and burnout. But, as I'm sure you've already read about and already listened to podcasts and videos alike, getting started can be tough. And funny enough, I've been procrastinating on this single video and starting the channel for around 2 months now. Like you, I've ridden this roller coaster, and it's not fun sometimes. Despite my passion for psychology, I found myself hesitating to even start this channel in the first place. You see, I've already created a podcast for fun as well as maintained a blog for years. A blog that, well, it failed. I was certainly passionate about it, but in the end, it still failed. You see, those fears got to me, and it kept me from trying to do this new thing for far longer than it should have. I'm still absolutely obsessed about the mind and psychology, yet I still found it almost impossible just to get started. It's kind of embarrassing, honestly. Here I am promising to help you with your life using psychologically backed studies to help you in your life while I'm struggling to help my own. But hey, that's the truth. We're all human, and this is where I'm at in my journey. But now I am getting started, so with that short introduction out of the way, let's get to the actionable advice. Starting with what's actually happening inside of our brains when we're trying to do something new. And in short, it's fear. When you or I experience that sinking feeling of not being good enough or of trying to live up to some kind of perfection, it's all fear. This causes our amygdala, which you can think of like a security guard in our brain, to absolutely freak out. The amygdala, our security guard, then goes off and shuts off the entire building, which you can think of as our brain, in order to protect us. Which, unfortunately, makes it all too easy to procrastinate because our entire mind becomes scared of action. It gives us all these excuses to shrink back and do nothing. And it tells us, don't go over there, or you could get hurt. It's dangerous. Stay here, where we know it's safe. Unfortunately, if we keep doing this behavior, it literally digs itself into our brain. Let me explain. The concept is called neuroplasticity, which means our ability to adapt to our environments as needed, which in this particular example, you can think of as a filing cabinet of experiences. When we try something new, it gets printed out and stuffed into the filing cabinet under the folder we tried something new. And if it didn't go well, then unfortunately, that folder gets marked with a big, fat failure. So when we try something new again, the secretary in our mind goes into its filing cabinet, notices the big, fat failure on it, and immediately phones the security guard, who then freaks out. So then your heart rate goes up, anxiety skyrockets, and your security guard goes to hit the big red button. Time to shut down the building. Red alert, it's an emergency. And that's the bad news. But the good news is that the amygdala, our security guard, doesn't have the final say in what ultimately happened, because we human beings rose to be the dominant force on the planet because of our neocortex, which some people like to call the CEO of the brain, or even the human brain. The neocortex, or the CEO, is what allows us to plan in the future. It allows us to push through our emotions to get to where we want to go. It allows us to notice the red alert in the building, walk over to the phone, and say to the security guard, No, we're not going to lock down the building. Instead, we're going to embrace what's about to happen. Sure, we might get hurt again, and that would suck, but sometimes we have to make that first step forward anyways. This is what I struggle with today and these last few months. And that's going to wrap it up for the psychology of procrastination, what's happening inside of our brains. That's this episode. The next episode, I'll unveil some powerful strategies to override the red alert in our brains. You won't want to miss it. So smash the subscribe button, lick the like button, and if you found this video useful, if you've ever felt stuck, just know you're not alone. So let me know down in the comments what you're dealing with, because I would honestly like to know. Because together, we'll mentor our own minds, manifest the miracles we want in our lives, and master the art of overcoming our fears together. Because remember, every journey starts with a single brave step. Something that I wish I had the strength to tell myself months ago.